Hello, hello. Is anyone else there, or is everyone dead? I'm not sure. Wait, can you hear me? Let's drop that. All right. Dang. Very, very small crowd today. That's okay. It'll be extra informative for the people who are here. Hello, Meeks Duo. Thanks for stopping by. I guess since there's so few people, for people who persevere to the end, there will be bonus piano content. But I suppose we can just get started since we have an objective to accomplish. We're continuing the Bach Inventions that we started 2 days ago. I have not looked at these in earnest really at all because I haven't looked at anything past number 8, except for number 15 a little bit. So this will be fun. Yes, let me switch to overlay, and then we'll get started. There it is. All right. I suppose we can explain the strategy one more time. What we're going for with Bach is we're going to do our best to pay respects to the harpsichord, but also acknowledge that we're playing on a piano. Our first time through, we're going to try to find a theme or a subject and really voice that above the rest. And then after that, we will think about some of the voicings, think about like some of the other things that are interesting that we can kind of draw out. Skipping most of the ornaments. We're skipping most of the ornaments because for most beginners, when you're going through the first time, it's more important to, in my opinion, understand what the shape of the melody is and what the phrasing is than adding the ornamentation on top. And yes, we are also detaching all our eighth notes and connecting the 16ths, which is the way I was taught and the way that I hear most other people play it. And we're going to do this for most things. So, all right. Any questions? I suppose probably not, since there's like 4 people in chat. And we'll get started with number 9 in F minor. This is a very cozy stream. I've not streamed for so few people since my first one, which is kind of odd. But here we go. Let me know if we can hear the piano. Piano sounds okay, hopefully. And I will just begin. So here we go. Oh, I messed up. Excuse me. Page turn. Wow. This page is sticking. There it is. All right. Just the first time through. Let's talk about some of my thoughts. So first, I think I was a little bit confused as to what I was looking at. And I think that kind of came out in the voicing. Like I just voiced whatever looked like long lines. But let's take a look what the theme. Let's see what the left hand is doing. Oh, there it is. There's the imitation 2 lines later. All right, so we're looking. All right, let's see. And so I'm giving measure numbers again, right? Oh, hello everybody who's joining. We're still doing the inventions, and hopefully this will be fun. All right, let's see. So in measure 1, and then we see it again in measure 5, and then we see it in measure 9. And is there an inversion of this? No. I'm going through right now because I had a really hard time seeing it like on the spot the first time through. So we're just doing a quick run. Okay, noted. And does it come up? No. There. For whatever reason, also A flat major and F minor are like kind of weird for me. Like I never want to play this D flat. I don't. Okay, I think I have a better sense. So yeah, it has to write every note from memory without being a piano. that sounds really, really tough. All right, we're gonna try again. Maybe a little bit faster. But hopefully the phrasing is going to be better. But like, yeah, this isn't perfect because again, this is my first time through, and there were no markings here, so I didn't play it when I was a kid either. So literally first time through. Follow the contour. Oh, finger. Continuing on. Oh. Oh, I missed the flat. We didn't add any ornaments, but that's okay. Yeah. Alfred gives a whole bunch of suggestions, and I skipped all of them. But let's reiterate some of the points that I made on Tuesday, just by way of refresher, or in case you're watching this for the first time. One of the things that I like to think about with Bach is phrasing with the contours, right? So when notes go up, we can go up a little bit in steps with the dynamics as well. So a little bit more, right? A little bit more emphasis. And then we drop back down. Yeah, same thing. More. Yeah. So all this goes to show. Right, more build. And you wanna feel a little bit of that bounce when you're like moving up in those dynamics. So, yeah, after you learn the notes, after you got the voicing, then thinking about like where you're going. Direction is important, right? Direction shapes a lot of the dynamics and a lot of the contours that we're trying to draw, and understanding the direction and understanding which notes we're playing to and how they stand in comparison to the rest of what we're doing can help determine our dynamics, especially with something like Bach, which is a little bit more difficult, right, to play in the way that people are used to. So, any questions about this invention number 9? If not, I'll take a sip of water and we will continue on to 10. Y'all are making this feel like a real speed run. I'm just like going straight through. All right, 10. Let's see. 2 pages. Okay, here we go. Looks like it's a nice tempo. 9/8. All right, in G major. Turn the page. I might as well true. Very nice. This one's pretty straightforward. We have. I can see an argument for why you would want to play all these connected, but again, for the sake of simplicity, we're just going to stick with the rule detaching all the eighths, simply because, you know, if you're looking at this for the first time, I don't want to confuse you. If you have a teacher, defer to whatever your teacher is saying. Let's see. Am I sight reading for the first time? I'm sight reading for the first time in many, many years. The last time, so my teacher would date all the things every time, every lesson that we worked on stuff. So the last dates that are written here, there are dates from 08 and there are dates from 09. And I'm assuming that the 09 dates are from my brother. So the last time I played this one was in 08. So it's like almost 14 years ago. I'm trying to think what's something practical that we can take away. So especially because it's in like a triple meter, right? We want to feel that 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. Or I suppose if I were conducting properly, 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3, like in this you know, if you know basic conducting or whatever. 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. So there's a little bit of like a dance-ish feel to it. So 1 so one of the questions that I ask my students a lot when we're working through like some of these sort of pieces is what are the important notes, or like what are the notes on the strong beats that we want to feel or hear a little bit more. And so basically for each iteration, each group of 3, I want to hear the first note in that group of 3, and that first note is not necessarily accident or even like played very strongly, but it's given a little bit of emphasis to kick the other notes off, right? So 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. So if you hear that's different from If anything, we're again using the strength of the portato if you're going to play this separate, right? To give it, like I talked about last time, how with portatos there's a bit of flexibility in how long we hold a note, and that can change how the note feels, right? So with staccato it's very short. With a legato it's all connected, but with portato it can be like anywhere from here, like the staccato, to like a little bit longer, to like almost like glued together, right? Almost a legato. So we can use that to our advantage to then create that little bit of emphasis that we're looking for. Oh, obviously I'm adding a little bit of volume to it too, a little bit like a tiny accent, but like, yeah, it's a little bit harder to play with both hands. And especially with something like this, right? Right. You see, again, the same thing that I talked about with what was it? Contours from the last invention, right? Da, da, da. What do? We drop a step, and then we can go down a little bit, and we can climb down one more, and then now we can come back up. Yeah, and so I think this is an interesting little invention because it seems, I feel like, a little bit more straightforward than most of the other ones that I played recently. But even here, like I'm looking at measure 7, like right, da, 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 bum, ba, 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 bum. Right, it's very conversational, right, just like the rest of this. So even though the right hand carries the theme, and we want to hear that a little bit more, right? This still can, right? That little drop, right? Even within that measure, and then with the right hand, we still maintain the. Right. So if I took both hands separate, the phrasing would go. Right, but with and then with the left. Right. Da, 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 da. It drops and then comes back up right for the next measure. And we want to combine all that together when we're playing. Of course, get the voicing first, as I keep saying, voicing first, but these are like little phrasing things that I'm noticing as I'm playing or things that I would do. One other remark, because it's showing up for the first time today, measure 20, we have the held C, right? What people traditionally do is they trill over something that's held for so long, starting from top note, I believe. But I could be wrong. Because if we were playing this on a harpsichord, the sound would decay very rapidly, and it would not sound held. It would not sound like a very long note, right? So you trill to then give it the impression that it's being held. And that's something that we do in some Baroque playing. Dope. If we have no other questions, no thoughts, then I'm going to play it one more time, and then we'll keep moving. Hey, today's actually a speedrun. All right. It's surprising. Bach stuff, Bach inventions and stuff like that are surprisingly tricky to play like hands together in tempo, which is why I think they're like so beneficial for like beginners in a sense, because you start off playing stuff that's like right, like the left hand's just playing chords and one hand's supporting the other. But this is like a lot of these aren't like they're not like super technically insane. Even for beginners, and you already begin to get a sense of hands doing different things, and so they provide a nice little challenge. So, all right, here we go. Oh, did I mess up? I'm thinking 4. I'm just this 3. Left hand there. Same thing. Right, with cadential stuff, I should take this a little bit slower. But with cadential stuff like in measure 3, bring both hands back up, right, to give it that sense of finality. yeah, oh, I should mention this as well. Measure 13. Right, and even in the left hand, you can decrescendo on these two, right, to give it a little bit of a line. So the right hand doesn't necessarily have to come in on top of it, like in a way that covers immediately, right? Once we get this sort of phrasing down, or excuse me, this voicing down, it can the way you slide into the voice doesn't have to be abrupt, right? It can be a little bit more a little bit smoother, right? Excuse me, getting into the trills a little bit. That was a little bit messy at the end, but with these sorts of things, when you have like these like big, like strong standing notes, right? You can afford to bring them out a little, right? Because they kind of mark where we're like kind of landing, right? Even though the other hand might have the melody. Because it's more so for like a percussive element, or it's not straight percussive, right? But it's more so for like a rhythmic element rather than like a melodic element. So it doesn't like necessarily overshadow too much unless you really hammer it, right? There it is. Any questions about number 10, G major? I think it's, technically speaking, is pretty straightforward. But there are some fun ideas here. There's some fun ideas. All right. No questions? We persist. All right. Number 11, G minor. We're almost there. We're almost there, team. 4 more. Wait, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 5 more. I always forget because we're not starting from 0. Okay. Let's see. This looks like it's a little bit slower. Yeah, okay. So I'm guessing the fingering is going to be a little bit confusing, and finding the theme might be a little bit hard for me. So we'll take it slow. And wow, the page is ripped out. I wonder if somebody was extra frustrated when they were playing this. Hello, Roger. All right, here we go. Page turn on the torn page. No, there's the terracing. I sense the cadence coming, which is why I brought the both hands back up. Oh, it starts on G. Oh, excuse me. Camera turned off. Sorry, team. We're gonna have to deal with this. More terracing. The ritornado at the end. There it is. All right, very nice, very nice. As expected, I was a little bit confused as to where the theme was at times, so it's very, very helpful that somebody marked it out. So I'm guessing somebody played it at some point. So okay, we continue. Let's see. Any points? You'll notice I pointed out verbally when I was playing too. Right, we have these. Right, where we can bum 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 bottom. Excuse me, bum bottom. Right, each one a little bit higher, a little bit more. Right, and we think of those in steps. Right, if we want to think purely in terrace dynamics, we can think of those in steps. Even though it's not. Even though we want to me, we want to voice the left hand. Excuse me. Or we can even play them about the same. So yeah, it's about like that. Yeah. Is there anything else? I feel like I should mention very briefly, because I forgot to last stream, and I almost forgot this stream, talking about how I'm playing these eighth notes, or like the sort of motion that I'm doing. So if you'll notice, right, like some people teach staccatos like plucking like this. I'm gonna switch back over here so that I can make sure I'm demonstrating. Right, like almost like a plucking motion. Right, some people just teach short. Right, and it connected like this. You'll notice that a lot of these eighths that I'm doing, I'm pushing in a little bit, right? So, for example, in measure 5. Right, it's not. It's a little bit of a wrist motion. So when you're starting off, what my recommendation is just play it short, right? But once you're comfortable, or once you've perhaps learned a little bit more of this like sort of down up motion, right, and start getting used to that, or when you come back to the second time, you'll find that a lot of these portados sound a little bit better when you add a little bit of spring from the wrist. And of course, you can control how much of this you're adding so that you get different textures. But that's just one of the things that I wanted to point out in case somebody was wondering. All right, let's try to go through one more time. We can build in the right hand. Oh my gosh. And page turn. You notice the hands are doing like different things. What is this? Portobello mushrooms, precisely. Yeah. All right. I think this was pretty. Yeah, this one's pretty nice. I like it. What was I had a comment, but I forget what I was going to say. Oh, you'll notice here. I'm looking at measure 18. And we got this a little bit earlier too. Like in measure 1. Right. Right, a little bit of a drop, right? Like the main melody, because of how long it is a little bit like I keep using the word conversational, but it's almost like you're talking in the way that and you're mimicking a little bit of the way that the voice like moves a little when you're just speaking in general. But this left hand also this non-subject hand, non like dominant hand for lack of a better term, can also have its own unique phrasings too. And that all comes in like below, right? And so that's why dynamics aren't just one dynamic, right? But they're ranges, right? So we're working in two ranges, but like there's fluctuations in both. Okay, any questions about number 11 in G minor? If not, then we will continue and continue to persevere. Is it 4 more? Hello, Brixia. Thanks for stopping by. All right. here we go. This is a what, 12/8? Let's see, what do we want? Looks like it starts in the left hand, the theme. Oh, we could trill here too. Doing so there. Oh. Oh, that was pretty cute. I like these, Yeah, it was pretty fun. How am I? I'm a little bit tired. I didn't sleep too well last night, so, but that's okay. We will persevere. Let's see what we're doing. Nice. All right. Let's continue. All right, this is what are some thoughts? Definitely want to implement the. I guess all these start with a turn, but. this sounds like it wants to go a little bit faster, but I don't think I can play it faster by reading. I'm perhaps being a little bit too like romantic about this phrasing, but that's okay. If we want it to be a little bit more strict, we can terrace this. And drop a little bit every time. And then you can figure out how you want to build back from there. This is the theme is so long, or the subject is so long, we just keep repeating it. And so it'd be interesting to see how like you can kind of play with the phrasing each time, right? Even just putting it in a different dynamic range. All right, let's try one more time. I'm going to try to implement these trills, like because they make for like this. All right. That's a nice little handoff sequence. Drop a terrace, or we can drop the piano even. Yeah, we can. If we drop to piano, we can bring this back up. Excuse me. I'll try. Oh. And then we can drop it again. I passed that off poorly. Let's try it. I'll try this again. right, here we go. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So just last time we talked about how we have a direct repetition of two, like a phrase, like side by side. We want to play one either like loud and then the second one soft, or flipped, right? Soft and then loud. So it's either like an echo or like extra emphasis. We can do this with sections that are like, stepwise as well. So far, we've been just taking it in like terraces, like stepping up or stepping down. But in this instance, for example, Alfred, one of the markings that you can perhaps try, editorial markings, is the first one, right? So measure 12. And then we can. And then. Like that. So, anyways, any questions about number 12 before we move on? Yes, I do step late. All right. We will continue. Number 13, A minor. Let's see. There's marking, so it seems like somebody's worked on this before. Oh, this sounds very familiar. Yeah, this is. Oh, I should say also, a lot of people recommend, like, at some point, like, trying to read everything with both hands together. I think Bach inventions are interesting enough that you can do them separate and it's okay. But do try to put everything together at some point. All right, let's begin. I remember the theme starts on the second 16th, not is. I'm going a little fast for reading. I love the drip with that jacket. Thanks, Hayash. Adidas sponsorship win. Terrace down. Both hands together. Now right. Climb. Oh, the Meeks left. Oh, thanks for stopping by. Yes. All right. This is quite fun. It's a short little team. It's like, saucy. I like it. I think this highlights a little interesting thing, right? We want to bring out, right, and then this drops because we get the exact same, right, in the left hand. But this da 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 bum, right, it goes up and then dum bum 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 drops and then da 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 dum bum, right, and then it drops again. So the hands are moving in contrary motion in terms of dynamics, right? And the same for here, right? Da, 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 and then the right hand drops, and then the left hand is like even, and then when it comes up and then drops, but meanwhile the right hand builds back up, and then da 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 da, da and the left hand goes up, right? So it's like this sort of like contrary motion in terms of dynamics that's occurring in both hands. So this is a little bit tricky. So let's take it slowly, or take it slowly when you're first reading it. But again, theme first, and then these sorts of voicing things. They're just a little interesting quirks that I'm noticing as I'm playing. All right, we'll give it one more shot. And we continue. Sorry, page. Left hand, terrace down. And we want to bring out right to lead in the next note. If we can bring both hands out and then right-handed. Literally each beat we can go up one terrace, one step. You notice now I'm kind of like setting where we are with the left hand as opposed to the right hand. Right. So we can use the left hand to do a whole bunch of stuff, especially even though it's not carrying the melody, because it's carrying some like rhythmic elements, we can use those rhythmic elements to set where we are in terms of dynamics as well. So anyways, any questions about number, what's this, 13 in A minor? We have two more to go, and then we're almost done. Ooh. All right, no questions? Okay, let us continue. B flat major. All right, this is interesting because we have 30-second notes. I should hold. Camera turned off. Sorry, team. We can bring both hands. Excuse me. Very nice. This last part here, starting measure 17, both hands are, carrying the theme. So we can kind of play. We can play as a stretto, right? Both hands can be at the same level. If we want, we can have the micro fluctuations, right? Right. Both hands can be moving in that sort of different directions. In fact, it will probably sound a little bit more nuanced, but it's okay to just have them at the same level at this point. So we can play both of them mezzo forte or like a little bit forte. Oh. All right. I think the rest of this is pretty. The theme shows up in very obvious ways because we're just like. Right. So, I think I'm ready to play one more time. But do we have any questions, any thoughts or concerns from the chat? If not, then we'll get right to it. All right. Here we go. I was gonna say also make sure you're holding this these quarter notes for the full duration. Right? They have to sound like quarters. They can't sound like eighths. Drop. Drop. Just playing with the dynamics a little bit. This is a natural. No. Building. Oh, I'm rushing a little bit, excuse me. Oh, sorry, I'm losing my mind. There's a retardando at the end. All right. Whew. Any questions on number 14, B flat major? If not, then we have one last one before we complete the speed run. A. It's time. It's time for number 15. Are we still with me, chat? Are we still alive? It's okay if we're not, because we're just listening in the background. But hopefully this is still helpful, still informative. All right, number 15, here we go. You're dead. All right, here we go. What is this? Oh, terrace? Nothing meaningful to say. That's all good. Build. All right. Yeah, this is a fun one. It's nice. Really feel like this like little dancey, like little bouncy nature to the theme, right? Yada bum 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 bum, right? Yeah, we can even emphasize these da, 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 bum, ba, dum, with a trill. Oh, wow, my left hand is strangely stiff. And even though at the end here, the left hand still has the subject, right? We're bringing the right hand up because, again, it's a cadential move. And immediately the left hand drops back down. We crescendo to forte. Is there anything else? You'll notice, like these notes, right? There's a little bounce to them as well. Everything has a bounce. Right. These notes, right, listen to the left hand. Going down and then coming back up. Coming back up. Right, and this plays nicely. So the hands are doing, again, dynamically different things at the same time. I don't think I have much else to say. Any thoughts from chat before I play one last time and thus complete the speed run? Oh my gosh. It's taken, was it a total of 3 hours to play through and read, just about 3 hours to play through and read all the two-part inventions twice and talk about some of my thoughts. So that's pretty fast, right? We got 15 pieces. We went through 15 pieces. There aren't the easiest things in the world. So all right, no thoughts, no comments. We're gonna get started. All right, here we go. I'll try to incorporate some trills this time. His voice crossing. Last page. Started retrodando a little bit too soon. Alright. Again, the spot where you want to start the retrodando, you want to sort of feel out. But typically it's anywhere from 2 beats before the last measure to a measure before the last measure, or even a little bit longer. Also, my left-hand trills are kind of garbage. So we're gonna have to work on those at some point in the future. But hopefully you get the gist. Any questions about invention number 15 in B flat minor from anyone? If not, then we have successfully, or we've successfully completed the speedrun. We've completed reading all 15 two-part inventions, explaining them hopefully in a beginner-friendly way, and also demonstrating what we want to voice, some certain musical elements that we're looking for, ways to make it more interesting, ways to spice it up. Hopefully it's supplementary to your own studies. Hopefully it's supplementary to what you're doing with your own teacher, or if you're self-studying, then this will give you some ideas. Again, we didn't do an in-depth analysis of the score or anything, right? We didn't really look that deeply into like the themes, like where is written in like inverted and stuff like that. I just did it off of feel, right? I just did it off of feel and what it sounded like, and looking at the score as a whole. And so that's just like one way to approach it. That's one way to think about it. Of course, as a beginner when you're reading, I think this is one of the things that the score analysis, a lot of that comes from your teacher, right? You're just looking to play and develop independence in both hands. The second or third time you start coming back to the inventions, that's when it becomes interesting. You can begin looking at these things and think about how you want to bring different things out as well, based on what you notice from the score itself. So, all right. Wow, we did it. All 15 inventions. That was 3 hours. That was about 3 hours for both streams combined. I did say that there would be a little bit of a reward for people who stuck around to the end. I don't know. Maybe we'll play something. We'll play something for fun. Well, how many people do we have in chat? Unless we have questions. And I'm very happy to field some questions at the moment. But chat seems kind of dead. About to watch this back in your flight. Thanks, man. See, that's the thing. Now it's like when I teach the inventions, I can be like, yo, you wanna see how I want you to play it. Go check out my VOD. No, but in all seriousness, it's like these sorts of things. The interpretation changes the more you deeply understand the score, the music, some of where it's coming from. You can notice like tiny things. Again, last time I compared it to Rock's Love Sorrow. Layer 1 is thinking about the top voice, but then the other thing that we might want to think about is maybe how the left hand is moving. Right, and I don't have the score in front of me, and I haven't played it in a while, so. And another layer, maybe we want to think about the middle voice. So like that. So we have lots of things that we can bring out, and it's the conglomerate of all these things that makes Bach interesting. And so two-part inventions, a little bit more straightforward. If you had a fugue, where Symphonia you have 3 voices. Do Symphonias have 3 voices? I forget. Fugues have 3 voices, 4 voices sometimes. And deciding how to bring stuff out and voicing properly still, it's much more of a challenge. So that's why we start with 2 voices. So anyways, best of luck to everyone who's working on the inventions. How's my Love Sorrow going? It's going. I haven't played it in a while because I recorded it back in May. So yeah, I was thinking of having a stream of recovering my repertoire, and we'll see how well these last 2 streams do in the next few days, because I want to make instructive content for people who are looking for almost like a step-by-step process to approaching a piece of music. I know it's a little bit tough, simply because sometimes the thought process is just I'm trying several things, or like it's very intuitive. So having to immediately explain on the spot is a little bit difficult. But that's the goal. I'm trying to do a bunch of streams that will help people with stuff like that. So one of my next goals or ideas is to try to do a stream of me learning a piece that's more on my level, I would say, that will take some time. So I want to do that live. But I do want to do a stream at some point of me recovering a lot of my repertoire, because I didn't practice too much this past semester. And so I think that's also interesting as well. And that's also helpful in its own way. Yeah, so that's how Love Sorrow is going. Um, we will. Okay, what do we want to do? I suppose if chat wants me to play something, I could play one last thing before we go. If not, then I'll close up shop. All right, Togimeki Popperon. I don't want to play something that will get me copyright struck this time. So we can. Well, okay. I'm looking to record this etude, torrent etude, in a few days or so. So let's give it a shot. So a little bit of pressure, and see how we do. And we'll see if I play too quickly or I play too slowly or mess up my memory. So we'll see what happens. But we spent a lot of time working on this, or a few hours working on this past week. Wow, I can't talk anymore. And it's still a little bit less stable than I want it to be. So okay, we'll see. Hands be very tired. It's yes. My yesterday I was able to get up to like so yesterday in a practice vlog, so I record a practice vlog, so it'll come out at some point. Got up to like 145. Right. It was like surprisingly stable, but right now my fingers just feel cold. I don't know after all that Bach, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. It needs to sit for a little bit before it gets really up there. But that was the reward. That was the reward for sticking around to the end. So thank you very much, team, for joining me for this speed run. Yeah, it always needs more work. Anyways, hopefully again, the inventions were helpful. And yes, look forward to more streams and stuff like that. I might do either a New Year's Eve stream or a New Year's stream where I will be playing stuff, like anime stuff. I'll have to read a lot of it, but I just don't want to play anime on this stream because I don't want it to get struck or copyright claimed and lose ad read. But for other stuff, I'm willing to do that. So, anyways, Y'all are the best, my little pong champs, and best of luck with your own studies. And I'll see you next time.